Hi, my name is Natalie Williams. I am a certified personal trainer. In this video, we are going to do 20 minutes of lower body exercises with a foam roller. Go ahead and find your foam roller. Doesn't matter what length, as long as you have a flat surface and that you just accommodate to your body. We're going to go ahead and place it down on the ground and come onto your bottom. We're going to start by working the lower portion of your body up. So you want to always keep a slight bend in your knees, especially whenever we put a lot of torque by lifting our bodies up. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start with the ankles. So what you're going to find is that nice arch where your Achilles is. You're going to place your foot on top of it. You can do it with shoes or without shoes, doesn't matter. But we're just going to hold them right here, and we're going to rock our hips internally and externally, rotating them just to get ready. Relax your shoulders, because a lot of times we hold that tension up there. And what we're going to do with this foam roller is we're going to hold it for about 30 seconds in one spot. And if you can't take that 30 seconds, you can just roll back and forth, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up. If you don't have a strong core, you can do one leg at a time, that's fine. Or if you have any tension in your wrist or anything starts to emerge. But we're just going to hold it here, squeeze your core, and flex those feet towards you. Curl the toes, engage the quads, and take a few breaths here in and out. And you can either hold it here or roll back and forth. It's whatever you prefer. If you've never foam rolled, you might notice that there's a lot of pain involved. Make sure the pain is never on the joints. What this pain is that's indicating tension where you're holding it in your body. So right here, I'm just massaging back and forth. And what you're doing is you are actually getting the fibers that are layered with fascia. So fascia is like a web in your body. Let's actually going to go ahead and move it up. So bring your hips down, hands a little bit closer, bend your knees, and we're going a little bit higher now. We're working the soleus muscle. So you have your calf muscle, but now getting the soleus muscle. See if you can hold it in a place that feels good. And again, you can do one leg at a time. That's fine. So breathe through it. If this is too much, deep inhale and exhale, relax the shoulders, pull them back. And then just back and forth on that lower calf portion, working your way through it, squeezing your core. You're getting an upper body workout here as well. And then stopping and trying to release your legs. Once you release, you'll realize where that tension really is because you're not engaging the muscles that are holding on. And let's go ahead and roll all the way down to the ankles now and then to the lower calves. Good. Try to relax the feet because that relaxes the muscles, and that's what we're really trying to get into here. Once your muscles relax, you can really let go and give into the fibers. So go ahead and bend your knees, place your legs down. You can keep them up there, but give your wrist a little bit of break. I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer in, and we're gonna go a little bit higher now to the upper calves. So from here, shoulders back, elbows back, and go back and forth into the upper calf. Stop wherever you feel any pain or tension. What foam rollers do is they help massage your muscles, which is really good for circulation, but they also help with fascia. Again, coming back to where I was talking about. There's fascia in your body that's like a web, and it holds on to all the muscle fibers and it connects everything together. A lot of times when you're tense, you may not even realize that you just need to get a nice fascia release in. So go ahead and go up a little bit higher into the upper calves, back and forth, or you can play around. This is your practice and you need to listen to your body right now and find where that indicator is. If you can hold on to that sweet spot and hang on and push through the pain, then you can release it. So your body tries to always keep you together and help you hold on to each other. So basically, have you ever kicked your leg up really high and all of a sudden your body is like, nope, that's too high and it's too fast? Well, that's a protecting mechanism. That's your muscle fibers not letting you kick it high enough because you want to keep your body together. That's your first mechanism layer of protection. And then you have the fascia in your body, which is this web that we're working on right now. So go all the way back and all the way front. Make sure you're breathing back and forth. And then you can play around flexing the feet and noticing how that muscle engagement doesn't allow you to get to the full pull of the release. Then go ahead and sit down and relax those wrists. Because again, you have to pay attention to the other body. We're really focusing on the lower body here, but make sure you're not compensating the rest of your body. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it up even higher underneath your hamstrings. So go ahead and roll it back and make sure you have plenty enough room. Flex the feet up first just to keep that proper alignment of the knees and hips, and then relax. Then we're gonna roll it back all the way up to the hamstrings and front. If you need to, you can also walk your hands closer in together, but again, holding any spot. And again, the pain is normal here as long as it feels whatever normal is to you. Because what it's doing is you're just releasing that fiber in your body and letting it go. And a lot of times we hold tension in certain areas, or that fascia bundles up. And what you're doing is you're just applying pressure onto it so it can release. Your body's saying, okay, you're not trying to harm me, you're helping me. So back and forth. And if you can get up a little bit higher, you can. So if you stay up here, I'm just gonna readjust so you can see me. And I'm gonna go up a little bit higher, flex the feet again, and roll. Try to roll all the way up to where you can get onto your sit bones. So underneath where your hips are, you should kind of feel that area. So back and forth. Now, if you have enough strength, again, hold on to any areas if it feels good, or you can feel where your tension is built up. And we're gonna go all the way back if you can, all the way back, and then forward. You'll start to notice a sensation of relaxing kick in the more you practice this. And this is just, again, a really good way to indicate where you need to release that tension in your body. So go ahead and sit down. And next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get onto, you stay there, I'm just turning it around. So we're gonna get more of the hip right here. So you're gonna straighten the right leg, take this left leg over, and you're just gonna work back and forth on this hip. So you're just rolling back and forth. This one you might notice an extra amount of pain coming in, okay? Watch out for the shoulder creeping up, pull it back and relax it down. So what you're doing is you're gonna hold on to any area where if it feels like it's a little bit of a pain, that's okay, as long as it's not joint pain or something completely abnormal. So try to breathe through it, inhale and exhale. The first few times you do this, you will notice a lot of tension in your body, which is great because you're learning about yourself. And then you learn that if you do this more often, if you foam roll often, it keeps your body stretched out. It keeps things circulating better. And it just helps let the muscles develop and flow. So we're gonna go back and forth. And this really helps. You can foam roll before or after you're working out. If you do it after, it just helps with the lactic acid build up in your body. And again, just hold on to any spot that feels extra good for you. You wanna make sure your hips are as forward stacked on top of each other as possible, or you can go back a little bit, that's fine. You're either working your medial glute or more of the outside of your hip, which is fine. All right, so this one, it might be extra for you, especially if you never foam rolled. Next, we're gonna go a little bit lower. So lower it down onto the quad, back and front. So massaging the quads, back and front, a little bit of the IT band is what you're massaging, but we're gonna get deeper into the IT band in a little bit. So stopping in any place that feels like, oh, I can release and relax. So the reason why we stop for a while is because it lets your body release. So your brain is really smart and so is your body. It takes about 90 seconds for your body, your fascia in your body to really let go. Remember how I talked about whenever you first kick up high? That's your first mechanism of protection so that your body just doesn't fall apart. And then after that, your muscles release about 30 seconds, And then about 90 seconds is whenever your fascia just lets go and it says, okay, I can just work through this. So you can move it through, and again, stop in any areas where it feels like you can work on it more. If this is too painful, especially for your first time, just roll it back and forth, or completely dismiss this until you can work your way up. And you don't want to overdo it, just like anything. So back and front. So remember how I said we're going to get a little bit lower for that IT band. So anytime you move with another object, you have to be very mindful. You're not used to it. Your body's not used to it. So we're going to bend your knees, hold on to this because it rolls, and come and sit down. Maybe roll around your wrist and then take it a little bit lower here. So the importance to get that IT band stretch is you're going to rotate the foot up. You may not be as flexible, and that's okay, but rotate it up. And we're going to keep a bend in this knee because we don't want to torque this knee. Bring it up and over, hands here, shoulders relaxed. Listen to the rest of your body and roll the foot in and up. From here, if you roll and you get deeper with your hips sinking deeper, you're going to also get a stretch in your left hip, and you can go back and forth. Deep breaths in and out. So a lot of people don't realize that foam rollers can actually help in assisting stretches as well. So right now you're just getting the side, and you can hold and drop that right hip. And gently, remember, mindfulness, come down. Roll around the wrist or whichever. And if you're having any wrist issues, you can always keep your wrist in fist, or they also have, there's designed handles for your wrist that you can use as well. That keeps that natural alignment. So let's go ahead and get on to the other side. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and stack the right leg on top of the left, roll forward, and we're gonna move this up to get the upper hip right here, back and front. And stopping in any place that feels really like that tension is there. Love foam rollers. They're really good just to listen to your body and realize, oh, this is where I need to hold this a little bit longer, or I can work onto it. But just breathe through it in and out. And this is a really good way to give yourself even like your own massage. So you have lymph in your body that is only moved by you moving it. So right now you're moving it. Your heart pumps your blood. Okay, so that has its own work. Unless if you physically move lymph, then you are not moving it. And that's what helps with circulation in your body. It keeps your immune system up. So you're doing so many things right now for you. So back and forth. And again, just stopping in the place that you feel that extra, it might even feel like a slight pinch, and that's okay. But watch out for the shoulders coming up, relax them, use your muscles, use them, keep yourself up. Then we're gonna push it a little bit further down to get more of the quad, back and forth. And again, you can always use your hands and fist. Deep inhale and exhale, try to breathe through it. I definitely feel it. So back and forth. Few breaths in and out. But this is a really good thing to do before your workout because you can find where that tension's built up. And then it's a really good thing after because you can just kind of move, like I said, the lactic acid buildup. Deep breathing in and out. And then you're gonna come on out of this, and let's get a little bit more of the IT. So roll that foot this way. Watch out because that's a lot of torque on the knee whenever we're using the leverage a little bit out here. Take this right leg, bring it up and over, and then place your hands up and turn, roll that ankle in and back and forth. Good. And if you deepen it through here, you'll notice you'll get more of a hip stretch up here. If you're not as flexible, that's okay. And you can always put blocks or something higher. You can go on a step to do this as well. That's fine. Listen to whatever works for you. Every body is different. Then hold it there and drop this left hip down and come on out of it. So roll those wrists around, shake it out, take a deep inhale and exhale, and just notice your legs. How do they feel? Released, hopefully. And the more you do this, the more you're gonna keep releasing that feeling. So next, you may or may not be able to do this, but make sure your knees are okay to do so. We're gonna place the foam roller down, come on top of it, and we're gonna place it to where you're on top of your shins, but not the shins, but the muscle in between. The muscle in between is what causes shin splints. Because, well, it's not what causes it is other things, but it's the muscle that tries to keep your bones together. And that's what is causing the splints going on here. So it's just because that it needs to be just released and relaxed. So right here, you can either do one at a time. Your objective is to get that squishy part, which is your muscle, not necessarily your shin. So coming on up and back and forth. So what you can do is you can maybe go on one side, tilt to one side. You can go all the way up and all the way down, really squeeze your core, all the way up and all the way down. And then back and forth. So obviously, the heavier you weigh, the more is being applied to this area. Or if you can't squeeze your body and contain yourself, and that's okay. So you might need a little bit lower to work your way up or not. And you can always push down too, to apply more pressure if you'd like. But next, and then you see how I'm just going over, back and forth, but I'm not on the kneecap. You're not on the kneecap, back and forth. Up and down. And again, stopping in any place that feels extra good for you. And back. Then be mindful of your knees, because your knees may not have that range of motion, and don't push it if it doesn't. Always keep that bend in the knee extra if you need it. From here, we're gonna tuck the toes under, use your hands, push up. Next, we're gonna get more of the quads. So coming back, make sure you have enough space. We're gonna come up on our knees to all fours, and we're just gonna roll in front, holding it wherever it can stay in place. And we're gonna roll back and up. And if you have lower back issues, make sure that you're not dropping the hips too much, okay? So they're up. If you can really drop the hips, that's fine, because what it does is it opens up and you're getting a stretch as well. But depends on what your goals are right now. If they're just to roll out your legs, that's fine. But know that you have other options with all these. So back and forth. If you want more of a weight in one leg, you can cross one over and get into it deeper. But if you're not ready for that, keep it to 2 legs, okay? So back and forth. But make sure you do things equal, back and forth. And you might notice you're working just your lower, and all you do to just readjust, you tuck the toes under and you just move it up a little bit higher, and you'll find a little bit more of a higher stretch. From here, you can also cross your right leg over and turn your hip and go back and front. So this is a little bit more of an extreme one. You have to have a lot of back engagement, but if you can do it, again, know that there are options. That's the beauty. There's so many things that you can do with this foam roller. But we're gonna go and come on down, so tuck the toes under, or you can hang out there, lift on up, and we're gonna do one last thing for more of our glutes. So from here, take your time, because it does move. You're gonna sit on it, and we're gonna cross your right leg over your left, which is a good hip opener. And you can drop both knees over and roll side to side, just to get that medial glute and more of those inner hips, which is really great. Back and front. Then legs come out, or you can hang out there. You can always pause this video and then stack the other leg, which is good because you're also getting a nice hip stretch. Drop the knees over to the right and go back and forth. Or if you're really liking it, you can place both hands down on the ground and put a little bit more pressure. This is a really good medial glute stretch. Well, not stretch, but really work through with this foam roller. Then you can come on down, and you can even open the hips and just hold it here. Then bring your knees together, and let's go ahead and come off of it. Thank you so much for doing this 20 minutes of lower body exercises with a foam roller. Make sure you always consult your physician prior to any exercise program.